We got to measure the same thing with the crankshaft or the camshafts. So on most camshafts on engines, what you're going to do is you're going to measure the journals, which are these are the main journals of the camshaft. So there's one here, 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 and here. Let me adjust the camera so you can see all of those. So you got one here, one there, one there, one there, one there. And so you need to measure those diameters. And then a lot of times the engines will give you specifications for measuring the lobe. So when you come all the way up here to the top of the lobe, you need to measure that to make sure that it's not worn down at all. This engine here, for some reason, doesn't give me a spec on the cam lobes. It only gives me a spec on the journals. So we're going to measure the cam lobe anyway, and then we're going to also measure the journals. Now to measure the journals, they measure just exactly like we measured the crankshaft. So we take our micrometer, we fit it down right on the journal, we tighten it down, we lock the jaws. I've already done this one here, and I'll show you on the paper here in a minute. But here's our reading. I had to step down to a 0 to 1 inch micrometer for these because they were much smaller than our rod bearing journals that we were just doing a minute ago. And then to measure the height of the cam lobes, we need the 1 to 2 inch micrometer, and we measure it out. And when you measure the cam lobe height, what you want to do is, if I can crank this thing out, you want to get up here at the very top of the cam lobe when you tighten down your anvil, and there we go. And I've got the measurement written down over here. So reading the micrometer, so when we were measuring the cam journal, reading the micrometer, I've already loosened it up a little bit, but what we had is we went over here and we were right at the 9. So we were just like right there, and then I think we were at 0.03, so we were 1, 2, right there. So we were about right there is where it was measuring. So the 9 was just showing, because when this 0 right here is lined up with that mark, that is 9. Okay, because you can just barely see the 9 poking out, and we're at 0. And then we had gone down to just below the 3. And so 0.0900. Then the next number was 0.003. So if we look up here, we had one. Let me point with this so you can see better. So you got 1, 2, 3. This one was down just below, so it was right about there. So we have 1, 2, 3 below this line here. So that's 0.003. And then the last one, the one that was lined up, was this 3 over here, was lined up just perfectly like it is now. So that would give us 0.0003. So if we add those numbers up, we have 9033. If we look at our specs for our cam journal, for journal number 2, I think that's the one we were measuring. Or no, we were measuring journal number 5. So journal number 5 is supposed to be 0.9031 to 0.9039. And so we're at 9033. So we are well within specs there as well. Now I did measure the lobe, and the cam lobe was measured out this way here. So we had 1.5671 for the cam lobe height, but we don't have a spec on that, so it really doesn't do us any good, but at least we measured it.